Hello everybody, it is nice to meet you again in the class of Mechanics and Strength of Materials. In the previous segment, you have seen the video of tensile testing until we get the stress-strain diagram. In this segment, we will discuss the stress-strain diagram in more detail until we get the mechanical properties of the materials. So, this is the stress-strain diagram. In general, there are two behaviors of the material when a material is in the tensile loading, as you have seen in the video. The first one is the elastic behavior. And here, the material will become longer when it is in the tension. Then, when you release the force, the material will return to its original dimension. The second one is the plastic behavior. When a bar is pulled until in the plastic behavior, the bar will not return to the original dimension when you release the force. It means that the bar of the material has been plastically deformed. Another one is about the phenomena in the tensile testing. There are four phenomena in the tensile testing. The first one is the elastic region. The stress and strain is proportional with same gradient. And then the second phenomenon is the yielding. A slight increase in stress above the elastic limit will result in the breakdown of the material and cause it to deform permanently. When yielding has ended, an increase in load can be supported by the specimen, resulting in curve that rises continuously but becomes flatter until it reaches a maximum value. The rest of this curve is called as the strain hardening. In the strain hardening, the material will become stronger due to the plastic deformation. Then, after the maximum stress, the specimen will have necking. In the necking, the localized reduction of the cross-sectional area of the specimen under tensile load, as you can see in the figure. You can see the area here, the cross-sectional area is reduced due to the tensile testing. Next, I will let you know the mechanical properties that can be found from stress-strain diagram. The first one is in the elastic region here. You can see the stress and strain is proportional with the same gradient. The gradient is E equal to sigma over epsilon, and this equation is called as the Hooke's law. And then this E is called as the modulus of elasticity or the Young's modulus. Then, the boundary between elastic behavior and also the plastic behavior is called as the yield strength or SY. So, if the stress is in the material is above yield strength, then the material will have the plastic deformation. If you still increase the stress, the material will have the strain hardening as I have explained to you until ultimate tensile strength before necking. So, the maximum stress of the specimen of the material is called as the ultimate tensile strength or SU. Next is another mechanical properties that is percent of elongation and also percent reduction in area. This both property determine whether the material is ductile or brittle. Ductile material will have larger percent of elongation or percent reduction in area than the brittle material. The ductile or brittle material will also have the different stress-strain diagram. For example, in this diagram. In this diagram, the most ductile material is the soft steel and the most brittle material is the hard steel. You can see the difference of the stress-strain diagram between the soft steel and also the hard steel. Next is the modulus of resilience. The modulus resilience is the energy that is absorbed by the material during the elastic region at here, or without permanently damage the material. In the stress-strain diagram, the modulus of resilience is the area of the elastic region. Then there is the modulus of toughness. Modulus of toughness is the energy absorbed by the material from the start of the loading until the fracture. In the stress-strain diagram, the modulus of the toughness is the entire area of the stress-strain diagram. Then we have Poisson ratio. For example, a bar have the radius r in the lateral direction and original length L in the longitudinal direction. Then this bar is compressed. You can see the length will become shorter and in the lateral direction will become fatter. From here, we can find the strain in the longitudinal direction by this equation, that is delta over L. And then we can also find the strain in the lateral direction by using the delta accent over R. From the strain, we can define the Poisson ratio, that is minus epsilon lateral over epsilon longitudinal. The negative sign at here is used to make the value of the Poisson ratio here become positive. The value of the Poisson ratio of the material is range from 0 until 0.5. That's all for this segment. In this segment, we have discussed about the mechanical properties that can be found from the stress-strain diagram. And also, this segment concludes our discussion about the mechanical properties of the chapter 3 of the Hibbeler's book. So, in the next module, we will discuss the new topic, that is the axial loading. So, thank you for your attention and see you again in the next module and segment.